Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be strong? Is it the power in our muscles, or is it the fire in our hearts? What if true strength is found in the courage to make your own rules, to stand firm when the world expects you to bend? There once lived a princess who did not wait for a prince to save her. Instead, she challenged princes and warriors and champions to face her in a contest of strength and will. Her story is not a fairy tale, but a powerful testament to a spirit that could not be tamed, a legend whispered across the vast plains of history. It is a story that asks us all to look within ourselves and find our own unique power. Her name was Khutulun. She was a princess born into a world of immense power and constant conflict. Imagine vast, open grasslands stretching as far as the eye can see, under a sky so big it feels like the roof of the world. This was her home, the Mongol Empire, a realm forged by her legendary great-great-grandfather, Genghis Khan. In this land, strength was not just admired, it was essential for survival. People lived their lives on horseback, their destinies intertwined with the shifting winds and the fortunes of their clans. Khutulun was a part of this world, yet she was destined to carve her own path, one that defied every expectation set for a woman of her time. Unlike the princesses in storybooks who might spend their days in castles learning to sew or sing, Khutulun's education was one of action and strategy. She learned to ride horses with the skill of the finest warriors, her movements so fluid it was as if she were one with the animal beneath her. She learned to draw a bow with deadly accuracy, her arrows flying as true as her own unwavering spirit. She was raised not in the shadow of her powerful male relatives, but alongside them, sharing their training, their meals, and their counsel. Her father, Kaidu, a powerful ruler in his own right, saw the exceptional fire in his daughter and chose to nurture it, not extinguish it. As Khutulun grew into a young woman, the question of her marriage became a matter of great importance. Suitors from across the empire and beyond sought her hand, drawn by her royal lineage, her beauty, and the power of her father, Kaidu. But Khutulun was not a princess who would be given away as a political pawn. She had her own ideas about her future, and she was not afraid to voice them. She decided that the man she would marry had to be worthy of her, and she created a unique test to prove it. She made a public declaration, a vow that echoed across the steppes. She would marry any man who could defeat her in a wrestling match. This was an astonishing challenge. Wrestling was a core part of Mongol culture, a celebrated sport of strength and skill known as bok. It was a domain dominated by men, a test of pure physical power. For a princess to not only participate, but to issue an open challenge to any man was unheard of. It was a bold move that broke every rule of tradition and etiquette for a woman of her status. It was her way of saying that she would not be defined by others, but by her own strength and her own choices. The challenge came with a very high stake. If a suitor managed to defeat her, he would win her hand in marriage. However, if he lost the match, he would have to forfeit 100 horses to her. This was not a small price. In the Mongol Empire, horses were the ultimate measure of wealth and power. 100 horses was a fortune, a significant loss for even the wealthiest and most powerful noblemen. News of Princess Khutulun's challenge spread like wildfire across the vast Mongol lands. Warriors, princes, and champions, their pride stirred and their ambition ignited, traveled from far and wide to test their mettle against her. They came with confidence, backed by years of training and a lifetime of being told that they were the stronger sex. Each suitor arrived with his herd of 100 horses, a testament to his wealth and his certainty that he would be the one to finally defeat the wrestling princess. The stage was set, time and time again, for a contest that pitted tradition against a new and undeniable reality. The wrestling matches themselves were spectacles of immense skill and power. Mongol wrestling is a sport of leverage, balance, and raw strength, where the goal is to make your opponent's upper body, knee, or elbow touch the ground. Khutulun would enter the ring, her presence calm and focused. Her opponents were often larger and seemingly stronger, but she possessed an intelligence for the sport that was unmatched. She used her agility and her deep understanding of balance to her advantage, turning her opponent's strength against them. One by one, they fell. A proud prince would charge forward, only to find himself thrown off balance and brought to the ground. A seasoned warrior would attempt to overpower her, only to be outmaneuvered by her superior technique. With each victory, Khutulun's legend grew, and so did her herd of horses. Her collection of prize animals grew until it was a magnificent sight, a thundering testament to her unbroken winning streak. According to the accounts of visitors like Marco Polo, this continued for years. In the end, Khutulun had amassed a herd of 10,000 horses, won through 100 victories against 100 of the strongest men who dared to challenge her. So, what made Khutulun so special? What was the secret to her incredible success? We can understand her power by looking at a few key qualities. First and foremost was her incredible physical strength and skill. She did not just win by accident. She was a master of her craft. Think of it like being the best at a video game or a playground game like tag. You learn the rules, you practice, and you get better and better. A second key to her power was her strategic mind. Wrestling is not just about being strong, it is about being smart. Khutulun knew how to use her opponent's size and aggression against them, using her agility to step aside and their own momentum to throw them off balance. Another essential part of her story is her fierce loyalty, especially to her father, Kaidu. She was not just a warrior fighting for herself. She was a pillar of support for her father's kingdom. Her strength was his strength. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Khutulun's power came from her courage to break the rules. In her time, there was a clear path laid out for a princess, and it did not involve wrestling men or leading armies. She chose a different path. This is a kind of bravery that doesn't always involve fighting. It is the courage to be yourself, even when others tell you that you should be someone else. Her story teaches us that true strength is having the confidence to follow your own heart and forge your own destiny. The story of Khutulun is more than just a fascinating piece of history. It carries a message that is just as important for us today, centuries after she lived. Her life is a powerful reminder that our worth is not determined by the expectations of others. In her world, people had very specific ideas about what a princess should be and what a woman could do. Khutulun showed everyone that those ideas were just that, ideas. They were not unbreakable laws. She proved that a person's abilities, passions, and dreams are what truly define them, not their gender or their title. Her legacy teaches us the importance of being true to ourselves. It is easy to follow the crowd and do what everyone else is doing. It takes real courage to listen to that inner voice that tells you to take a different path, to pursue a different interest, or to stand up for something you believe in. We can also see in her story the incredible power of family support. Her father, Kaidu, did not try to suppress her talents. He saw her strength and he nurtured it. This reminds us how important it is to encourage and support the people around us. When we believe in someone and give them the freedom to pursue their passions, we help them unlock their full potential. Ultimately, Khutulun's story is a timeless tale about challenging limits. The limits she faced were about gender and tradition, but we all face limits in our own lives, whether they are set by others or by ourselves. Her life is an invitation to question those limits. It encourages us to ask, why not? Why can't a girl be the strongest wrestler? Why can't a boy love to cook or dance? Khutulun's legacy is not written in stone but carried on the wind, a whisper from the past inspiring us to be brave, to be fair, and to build a world where everyone has the chance to be a champion in their own way. In the end, it is said that Khutulun did choose to marry. She did not marry a man who defeated her in wrestling, for no one ever did. Instead, she chose a man for reasons of her own heart and for the good of her father's kingdom. She never compromised her principles. She lived her entire life on her own terms, a warrior, a leader, and a princess who commanded the respect of all who knew her. Her story faded from many history books for a time, overshadowed by the tales of the men around her, but her spirit never truly vanished. Her life was her own masterpiece, painted with bold strokes of courage, loyalty, and an unshakable sense of self. She built her legacy not with gold or jewels but with strength, intelligence, and a herd of 10,000 horses that stood as a symbol of her independence. She was a real person who faced real challenges and chose to meet them with a warrior's heart. She reminds us that the most important victories are not always won on a battlefield or in a wrestling ring, but in the quiet moments when we choose to honor who we are. Her story has traveled through time, a beacon of inspiration for anyone who has ever felt that the rules did not quite fit them. It is for the girl who wants to join the football team, the boy who wants to be a nurse, and any person who dares to dream beyond the boxes that society might try to place them in. Khutulun's spirit lives on in every act of courage, every challenge to injustice, and every person who stands tall and says, "This is who I am." Her legacy is a reminder that you do not need a crown to be royalty or a sword to be a warrior. So, as we leave the story of this remarkable princess, we are left with a question to carry with us. Khutulun built a ladder to her own destiny out of courage and conviction, and she climbed it to the very top. She challenged the world and won. The world today has different challenges, different expectations, and different rules. The question, then, is not whether you can defeat 100 warriors. The question is, what are the unfair rules in your world? And what is the brave and true thing you will do about them?